Hello and welcome. Today is the 20th day of April 2019. It is Saturday. Welcome to the Money Charts channel. All bets, trades of the like within each's own risk and their own reward. Looking back on the daily term, just getting a whole bunch of candles. We can see a lot of the last many days. There was an uptrend that went down, up, and then went down here, up, and it's going to continue to go up and down and up and down and all those sort of things. But if I really wanted to take a look at this many periods, I would look more towards the weekly, monthly chart. I like seeing just a few periods, and in scrolling back, this continuation amongst the 18 average of highs has been nothing but phenomenal as we look to have more continuation today, day number 4 of how it pauses its move. And usually it pauses sideways. In fact, I can't even think of another time it's done anything like this before. Because a pause move, it's how easy can we see it? Like these two, three in here, where they just go sideways in the area from a move, pretty much near the highs. And no, this one just keeps grinding its way progressively towards the upside. Such a magnificent setup as I'm looking at things in here. Weekly chart, that's where we are getting a couple of those sideways overall, sideways correctionary moves from this up week on April the 1st. And it's taken a lot longer now, I guess you could say, to get up to, and it hasn't, of course, even tried to do it yet, but get up to the 6350 level that it pretty much said it was going to do after it failed to resist this level. And even for that matter, failed to even really support it. I mean, just for its liftoff, and that was it. Because there was support here, but again, that's just the short term movements. So it's just been a long ride towards this. So in here, I'm seeing, okay, right, yeah, we're going to 63. Oh, a little bit of a pullback. Maybe it's that failed breakout, but no, it's not showing that. In fact, one of the things I like to look at is the 61.8% Fibonacci upon a move. And that's where you take a key high and a key low. And the 61.8% from, well, which low and high do I have to use? I want to use this one in here for the low and not that one. Why is that? Because I want to know if the selling is a failure or not. So what we'll do is we'll take the high, which is 5,488, divided by the low of 4902 to the root, the exponent of 0.618. Then I'll multiply that low number again, which gives me 5,200 and change. 5256. How has 5256 managed to fare out amongst the shorter term? Let's look at it on a different exchange first. And I'll throw in a line in around that area right there. As if it's going to make any difference, I'll put in the settings to put in actual 56, but for another 3.5, that's really going to change it nothing. So in such, this was almost a Fibonacci miss here, given that this line was already established from this high to this low. So as it was rallying up here, it's like, and this point in here on April 14th, why didn't we go up to 52.5? Okay, well here it did. It did resist it at this point, just chopped, congested within it, lifted off, but not for much of a gain. Then it came back down. Then it found support on liftoff support here. Didn't have much of a gain again. Then a decent sized correction. It went below it, but most certainly wasn't able to hold and stay below it, thus rallying from that point, creating that of a magnificent break from this point, showing that by holding and staying above this for more than needed for a significant amount of time, that this is the point A to point B selling is showing to be a failed move. I like the 76.4. Let's stick a line in there. What's that number? 5344, which is where we're at right now. And it's just, and because of what it's doing here at that level, which was hair below resistance here, majorly a pierce above it here, comes back down, and this time when it or comes to it again for a third time, but this time it supports the 18 highs for just a couple of periods and not much of a retracement in percentage moves, breaking above it, and now it's been holding and staying above it for the last 8 or so hours, continuing what has been a nice slow rise towards the upside. Let's move over to Raven Coin, and I have literally just bought a little over 1,200 of these in between me pausing the tape. Because I'm like, yeah, let's just go on to Raven Coin next. I know it's got the good story today. I like how it's holding this move. And might as well see if there's a good price still at Cryptopia. It's still under 1,100 on Cryptopia. So it's down to these levels in here. So I end up picking a little bit more at that price. On the daily chart, we can see from the multiple hit bottom in here that it's showing signs that it might be ready to resume the trend or that this is the correctionary mode. But all right now it's doing is just establishing this bigger base here even further at 1,300, and the importance of holding this 18 low area around 1,100 may change. It becomes phenomenally important. So I'm taking a chance that I'm going to be able to, well, get my Raven coin at some point, meaning I can withdraw it, and that I'll be able to obviously withdraw it. But Cryptopia prices are so much lower because of the fact that they only have withdrawals on Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Dogecoin. And all the other markets that you can buy and sell, all the prices are noticeably significantly lower. People, of course, willing to sell at much cheaper prices just to liquidate their funds and really get it off the exchanges. I've gotten some of it off, but I'm confident within Cryptopia that things will get back up and going. Maybe slower than later, sooner than later, much maybe later than sooner. Yeah, there's a way of putting it. But if I see this go back up again, like if I see this break out to like 14, 1500, then I might just make even some more bigger buys of this coin. Then I'll be liking its chances, especially if I'm able to buy it under 1150. If I see this at like 1400 and change, then I know that's going to be a tremendously amazing statement. Let's move on to NLC2 next. And I find this very, very interesting. And really, it's not a good thing either. For yesterday, and even the last few days, this is what one of today's baseball game looks like. This was last updated just before the making of this video, 10 minutes ago or so, 15 minutes ago. This is today's contest, which first game, and these are Eastern times. First game is April 20th at 1300 hours or 1:05 p.m. Eastern, with the last game at what would be 9:07 p.m. Eastern. Prize pool 4,600. Minimum teams, and that's where this gets really, really of note. Minimum teams 20, maximum teams allowed 50. And it should say on here that you're only allowed 5 teams. Yep, each user is allowed to enter 5 teams into this contest. A few days ago, I was like, okay, let's play some fantasy baseball. And this might have been, what day is it today? Today's Saturday, so it might have been Wednesday. And I'm thinking, okay, well, 7 o'clock, these games are going to start. So here I am at like 6:35, putting a lineup, wanting to put a lineup together. And it said that the game was closed. I'm like, really? There was a 6:20 game or something. I'm thinking, really? You counted that 6 o'clock game? Then I noticed on the Thursday how they're just playing every game no matter when they start. Because Thursday there was an early game, and well, I was way late for that. I wasn't going to allow that to happen yesterday. No way, no how. And then I noticed, though, there's a game on at 2:40 yesterday, and it might have been around 10:30, 10:45, 11 o'clock, and I'm thinking to myself, there is no way they're getting anywhere close to 50 people. So I can confidently put 5 lineups in it. I'm going to need the 5 because there's a minimum fit 20 team required here. I mean, I don't even like the chances we might not even get to 20 people. So what I'm going to do is I'll put in 5 lineups. I'll ensure that none of the 2 o'clock Chicago Cub game players will go in. And then, like around 6:40, I'll 6:30, 6 o'clock, I'll edit my lineups for all the games later tonight. And there was only one person at the time when I put my lineup in yesterday. There was only one lineup in there, so there was 6 after I was done. I put the second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth lineup. I don't even know anyway, but I think I did. And then as the time hit the cutoff point, it got up to 18. And I'm thinking, really? I thought there was a 20 minimum required. Then I thought, was it 15 that was required? I wasn't sure. But I see right here it says 20. And I'm like, okay, well, if they're going to pay it, it was top 10 pay. This is going to be very, very interesting. And I'm looking at this at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. And I edit my lineups. Before then, I put 5 totally, totally different lineups. And I guess I did okay. I finished in third place, but there were 49 total teams. And as I load up yesterday's game, there's my third place finish at 147.67. And that had Caleb Smith, this pitcher here, and all these other players below. Anthony Rendon choked for me. Yeah, whatever. But, and there's my 12th place finish. I had a 14th place, a 15th place, and a 29th place. But where did all of these teams come from? 49 different teams. There was 18. I was looking at that hours after it cut off. I still can't figure this out. And if it doesn't smell right, it probably isn't. But it confuses me to no ends how this could have been the case. So for me, as an investor trader, I'm going to have to decide what to transfer this coin into because I'm most likely not going to continue the trade of this. And in such, what it will be yet, not too sure. I'll think of it over the next few days, how I'm going to allocate the funds and into which coins they are going to go into. I'm most certainly going to need a wallet of, like all coins have them. I'll have to figure out how to use their particular wallet. But when I enter into a league, again, it was like a 2:20 p.m. cutoff time. I enter in at like 10:30, 11 o'clock, and then I even noticed the hours before, it's not filling up too much. I knew it wouldn't. And then to wake up in the morning and see, oh, I got congratulations, you cashed one contest. And I'm thinking, really? Just one of my 5 cashed? Yeah, let's hope I did well. And then I see I got third out of 49. I'm thinking, how'd that 49 number come into play? Maybe there were people that were registered beforehand that I just didn't happen to see, and their lineups didn't get viewed or their entrance visibility until 7 o'clock. But I can remember looking at 6 o'clock and seeing that a few people took players from the Cubs game. So this person had 8 points going so far. This person had 6 and 12 or whatever. I think some people had okay amount of points. And then there was the other half of the people, like there was like 10, 11 lineups without points, and there was like 7 or 8 lineups with some sort of points at 6 o'clock in the evening yesterday. Of course, it's in a downtrend. As far as its value is concerned, my average value probably would be up a little bit for 2 reasons. One, because of buy low, sell high. And the second reason is because I've been profiting overall on the fantasy site. But that baseball game just really makes me wonder how 49 people got there when all I seen yesterday was 18 registered. Let's move on next to Cardano, which has been falling now down to 1438. Down so far for the day 4%. And it was up to near this 2000 number, 19 and a third. And we can see in here how it came down to the 18 lows, congested within it. And just looking at it even more closely in here, this was one of the days where it fell from it. It paused that day, and then 3 decent sized red candles down, with each one being more convincing than the others from, of course, the previous day. And it's going to come back to where it came from. Well, where did it come from? Well, the high end here is 1383. That's a pierce above. And then we can say a bit more convincing now, a three-time hit level would be 1320. And probably even more convincing than that would be around 1200. And that's where it looks like its statement is, that's where the statement is for it to go down towards. Now that the 18 is newly declining, that would be an area on any rallies or markets going sideways through time where I'd be looking for an area of potential resistance. But yeah, that's what the message of this is stating, and trying to make the determination of what's most likely. A move down to here, which would be, say, like a 20% move from here to here, or a 20% move from here to here. I wouldn't. I would think I'd be more accurate or as good in trying to predict a coin flip. And let's finish this off within Litecoin, and we'll first show it against BTC, which for several days since April the 11th, and with every day with the what happened here April the 16th, with the exception of that day and April the 19th, it has supported this line every single day, but it pretty much has the whole time through, or showing weakness amongst the 18 average of lows for quite some time. So will we? It's looking as if maybe it's ready to come maybe down. At least you'd think. I guess you got retest between 135 down to 127 as its next key support area. Weekly chart, the 18 average of lows right now is currently in at 123 and rising. And on the monthly chart, it has had a small move above here. 18 average of lows is 100 on this one against, and overall within it, it's to me definitely not a buy spot as far as trying to play the range where it goes down to the 003. And in here we have resistance between 22 and 35 in this part because it's pretty much at the upper end more than compared to the lower end, of course. And when prices above the 18 average of highs here, prices on the both the weekly and the daily chart pretty much as well, although the daily has been flirting with the 18 lows, of course. That the markets are definitely a little overextended, but I really do think it is in that of the little. And in looking at so or such against the that of the U.S. dollar cross, it's been spending a lot of time. It's just sideways now within this 18, where Bitcoin is showing strength amongst the 18 average of highs. I think it's relatively safe to say that if Bitcoin breaks its resistance and goes to 63, that this is going to go up as well. And whether it would go up near the same percentile term, or whether Bitcoin goes from 53 to 63, which would be a gain of close to 20%. Maybe this one might only go back up to like 90 and go up 10%, thus go down against Bitcoin. But I have to think most realistically, what would happen is if that would be the case, that this would break significantly above 100, maybe even reach the 125 point together. But I'll just let the factor of time tell for me, and when I am called upon for, I don't want to use the word beginning with the letter D, but I'm called upon to be in action, and thus have to make a trade, then I will make a trade. Look to see what significant moves are happening both to the upside and downside. See if there's any type of and opportunities I might not be aware of if possible, but definitely check my ratios, check all of those things there, so on and so forth. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye bye.